All right, this is episode 2 with Mike Lopez. This is Mike Talk. And today I got not only a special guest, but I'm going to actually say he's a really good friend. And I'm going to throw him the lob right now. He's a Cal State Bakersfield hoop legend. He's a hooper. He can't really guard me, but I'm not gonna dwell too much into that. It's my boy DA. DA, how you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. Next time you introduce a legend, though, don't tarnish my name. You're right. I'm a legend. I am a legend. Cal State Bakersfield ex-basketball player. Graduated from Cal State Bakersfield. Just currently doing my thing with girls basketball stuff.
That's right. Who are you coaching again?
I run a program here in Bakersfield called Team Militant Central. We're formerly BUA Elite.
How do you like that?
It's a task. It's almost like you're adopting. I think we have about 40 other new girls now with two new coaches, but you have a bunch of new kids, all different personalities from all different walks of life, different cities now. So it's a task, but I have a really good group of girls.
Okay, why did you choose girls and not boys?
Being a dad and having all girls, I was kind of pulled into it. I coached at Lakeside Middle School. I went to a practice. I just wanted to watch. I wanted to be a dad in the stands. But I think most dads that coach boys and girls who play the sport, you watch, and if it's not working right, it kind of itched at me. I was like, and then I got asked to coach the girls team. We were very successful all 3 years there. And then it just kind of went from there. I got pulled in and asked to coach one summer, and it went from one summer to 2 summers to starting our own program to coaching at Bakersfield High School, and it just kind of been going.
Okay. So how did you even get to Bakersfield? I'm not sure if most people even know your background, your story, and how you even got to Bakersfield, California.
From Baton Rouge, Louisiana. The way I got to California was through Porterville College. George Nessman really found me pretty much when I needed a school to go to out of Porterville, and he brought me out here. Once I got to Porterville, very, very successful program. I got spoiled with winning. And we had just won the California State Championship for community college, one of the top-ranked JCs in the country at the time. And I got spoiled with winning. So I began to look for the next program at a program that won. Everybody wanted to go D1. D1 schools that looked at me were like Nicholls State, University of Texas, El Paso, and schools like that which weren't going to win. I knew Cal State Bakersfield had a huge winning tradition. The other 2 schools in the running were Metropolitan State, who had just came off winning the national championship, and Kentucky Wesleyan, who had just lost the Metropolitan State national championship. I ended up meeting Coach Clark. Coach Clark flew to Baton Rouge, sat in my mom's kitchen, sat in my mom's living room. My dad had a real heart-to-heart about schooling and what was the plan for me, and that I would finish no matter what. And I respected him for that, and he was a man of his word. Okay.
You happy you came to Cal State Bakersfield?
I am. And when I came, everybody was like, you stuck. that was the talk. Like, you're never leaving. I was like, I'm going. And no matter how many times I left, I ended up coming back, having my first daughter here, and having my wife here now, my other daughters, and I'm here. So I'm enjoying it. I think it was a great opportunity for me, and it's been nothing but good so far.
Okay. Now, you and I, we talk a lot about basketball. We tend to sometimes agree, sometimes we disagree. Just depends on what it is that we're talking about. Most of the time, we disagree on the fact that you can't guard me, but that's another topic for another day. But there's some things that I've been thinking about lately, and I'm curious, and I want to get your take on this. What should the Houston Rockets do with James Harden?
Trade him.
And why?
When you got a player that obviously doesn't want to be there, and you're trying to change a culture. You just brought in a new coach. You fired everybody from the top. Why not go ahead and change that culture and see what I can get for him? He does not want to be there. He's made it known that he doesn't want to be there. You got some young pieces that's come in that can be productive for you. I think you get rid of him. I think you send him to wherever he wants to go, because James Harden plays one style of basketball. Mm. He needs the ball in his hand. He has to have it. And it doesn't work. Everybody's like, he needs a point guard. Not going to help because he's not going to get off the basketball. He doesn't play any defense at all. So that's a liability. I mean, none. I mean, even Kyrie tries to guard people from time to time. James plays none. I think you trade him. I think you begin to go into that, not a rebuilding process, because I think by trading him, I think you get some good pieces. And I think you get some good pieces with this pandemic year. Nobody's paying attention to who's going to be winning and losing. Let's be real. Nobody's beating the Lakers this year.
Yeah.
All right. So nobody's really paying attention, but it's almost like the kids you bring in, they get this trial run. They get this season that doesn't really matter. The coach is getting a trial run of the season. We get to see what he looks like. You get some good pieces. I say you get rid of him. I say you ship him off to Philly. I don't think it's going to work there. To Brooklyn, it's not going to work there. His style does not fit playing with another superstar unless he's going to completely change it.
I don't see him. I don't see him changing his style. I mean, what do you do? Put him off the ball? Have him stand around? And I've seen. I mean, we've seen him with CP3 and we've seen him with Westbrook. So yeah, I just don't think that. I don't think that James Harden is he can't. He can't change his style of play.
And he can't, and it's been. I mean, unless he can do something that's never been done. I've never seen a superstar, and James Harden's a superstar. I'm not taking nothing away from his game. I've never seen a superstar be able to change that game like that at this point in time. I just see that. I don't know how you build around him. You know, I don't know how you get a bunch of guys that can play, because you're in the NBA. Everybody want their touches, and James is coming down like, nah, I'm going to get mine, dribble, has he dribble, step back, dribble, three. That's what's happening. And when you got guys in the league, eventually that's going to start to wear on you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all good, but eventually, because at the end of the day, your next contract is going to be based on your performance.
Yeah.
So if I'm on a 2-year deal and all I did was stand in the corner for James Harden, my next contract ain't going to be nothing. Everybody talk about how guys play in the contract season. Well, these guys, they're going to build around him, are also going to have contract years. They're going to be looked to go on to the next place. And it's just a situation where I don't think they're going to be successful. So I get rid of him. I blow it up. I start new and just let the whole foundation build.
Okay, you say you get rid of him. Who do you get?
You know what? I really would try to ship him to Brooklyn. Brooklyn got a lot of pieces, man.
I mean, like what? I mean, I listened to Shannon Sharp this morning, and Uncle Shay Shay said, "Who we getting? What's his name? Dinwiddie.
Yeah,
Dinwiddie and someone else." And he's like,
Karis LeVert. Yes.
He goes, look, they're good players, but I mean, how many players do I need to replace James Harden?
I mean, you're gonna need. I mean, these guys can. They're not James Harden superstars, but these guys have proven that they can get buckets, they're going to play hard, and they're going to defend. I feel Houston, you're kind of in a situation where you're probably not going to win. No, you're not going to win this year anyway. And you're in a rebuilding situation. And you get some guys that are pretty much seasoned veterans. They've been in the league for a while now that can come in and give you some numbers. And now you start to begin to try to find that next big piece to throw into the mix. But I like the Brooklyn deal. I think, what can I get from Brooklyn? I mean, it's hard to have 3 superstars and still hold on to some very good pieces. I think if they're going to get 3 superstars, then you find a team that's going to try to nickel and dime and put pieces around those that can perform. Him going to Philly, you have nothing. Who are you going to give up? You have nobody. You have no assets to give up. But I mean,
unless you give up your little left-hand guy you got over there.
Ben Simmons?
It'll
never work with Embiid.
No? You don't think so?
James Harden, Embiid?
James Harden, Embiid? No. Pick and roll?
Never.
You don't think it'll happen?
No.
It's not capable?
Embiid's a guy who needs the ball in his hand. That's the reason him and Ben work so well together. Ben doesn't need the ball in his hand. He's giving the ball up. He's moving the rock. I just don't see it. I don't see it working, not with Embiid. And I don't see it working with Doc Rivers either.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't think that's Doc Rivers, his style of of play. I mean, James plays no defense.
Yeah.
None. And I don't see Doc coaching the team.
But I mean, or is it that James hasn't had a coach who could get the most out of him? I mean, he's been with Mike D'Antoni, and like that dude don't care about defense. He just cares about you shoot the ball. That's all that matters.
True.
I'll pick up some guys that they'll cover up for your mess. But maybe James, in order for him to get to the next level, he's going to need a coach that's going to push him. Because at this point, is James Harden a great scorer? Yes. Is he a Hall of Famer?
Yes.
But what will his legacy end up being?
He's going to be a great scorer, Hall of Famer, no championship.
No championship.
No championship.
And he's gotten close, but he's never been able to finish it. It's kind of like Tracy McGrady.
Yes, very much so.
Hell of a scorer, but man, when it mattered the most,
Never showed up.
Never showed up.
That's a great match to say, because him and Tracy they can put the ball in the basket. They can get you 30 every night. But man, when they count, I can't count on you. And I mean, how long do you have to be a pro where we still got to be saying, I got to find a coach to get the best out of you? Like you're a pro. I mean, these rookies, 1, 2, 3-year guys, I get it. Finding the right system.
Well, but
James, you've been in the league for a long time.
But you know what though? I think that there's always a level of a coach that can bring something out of a player that they didn't know was there. And you're a coach. I mean, you know when there's certain players, they're good, but you go, if they were with me, I know I could get them. I know I could take them to the next level.
But I think you see it, right? I think you see little gems in people. You'd be like, oh, defensively, I've never seen James play defense.
Okay.
At all. So you're going to take a guy that I've never seen play D and be like, I think he can D up. I've never seen you do it. So it's like.
Well, I have seen one clip, DeMar DeRozan flew by him, and then he kind of like skirted away, but then he stuck his hand out at the last second, and he ripped the ball. It's the funniest thing ever. That's a hilarious clip.
I mean, he's played some Olay D where he's just moved. Where dudes are like, ISO James, and I'm just getting to the rip. I'm like, at some point in time, your pride kick in. I'm like, hey man, you don't keep ISOing me every time you come down the court.
Yeah. And
I'm gonna sit down and defend, but he never does it. So I can't say that I'm a bank on, he's gonna defend. But I get rid of him. I say you trade him, good riddance. I say Houston, you guys had your run.
You had your run.
Everybody's you're gonna get what, about 4 years max?
Yeah.
Out of a run. Y'all had the chance. Yeah, I mean, y'all tried all kinds of ways. You went small ball. Y'all tried. It didn't work. You guys went. You got to think. He had CP3, and he had Westbrook.
Yeah.
You had two. You had one Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
And one All-Star, right? And it didn't work.
Didn't work.
So I mean, it's over. On to the next chapter.
Okay, so this leads me to my next thing. And I've been a huge hater of him for a long time.
LeBron James.
I have come to the conclusion that he truly is. I watched this game from 2006. It was him and Gilbert Arenas. It's 3 games to 2. They were playing in Washington. Him and Gilbert Arenas are going back and forth.
That's when you had Danielle Marshall and Boobie.
Yeah.
And the no-name team.
Yeah, he basically had a no-name team, and they're going back and forth. They're down by. They're in overtime. He before overtime, LeBron hit like 2 threes. I mean, he really. And I'm watching him play, and they're down by 2. No, they're down by 1. It's like 113, 112. 8 seconds on the clock or some shit like that. I don't know. They get the ball into him. They take it out of half court. They get the ball into him. They immediately come and try to triple team him up 10 feet past the 3-point line. And he made the right play. He hit Damon Jones in the corner, wide open 3. Yeah, Like, he just knocked it down. That was it. Because Gilbert Arenas missed the 2 free throws, and LeBron had gone up to him right before he started shooting his free throws, and he says something to him. And then he walks away, and you just see this look on Gilbert Arenas' face. He misses both. He makes one, it's over. It's a wrap. He doesn't. And as I'm looking at that 14 years later, I'm sitting there going, he may not be the finisher in which I liked Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant, but he made the right basketball play. He didn't try to, because he easily could have just said, "Boop, I'm going around and I'm going to get to the basket. Nothing you can do to stop me."
Correct.
But he made the right play, and I've seen this dude drag a bunch of scrubs to the finals.
If they're NBA players, Mike, they're not scrubs.
Well, you know what I'm saying.
Nah, they're scrubs.
Okay.
That team was God. I'm gonna get back to that topic. This is a question I asked. Who had the better run? Allen Iverson's 76ers team or LeBron's 06 Cavs team? Who had the better one? AI or LeBron? Both of those teams were.
I mean, I would have to personally, I'd have to give it up to AI, simply because he did get a win, and that Lakers squad, they ran through the West.
They did.
Undefeated. They was smoking everybody. There was nobody that was trying to stop them. So when AI and them got that first game, I was like, oh man, are we in for a series? Obviously we weren't.
I thought the same thing. I was like, it's about to be a series. Then Shaq was like, nah, I'm finna beat the Dikembe face up.
To beat the Dikembe down.
But I'll go back to LeBron. Your situation with him is for his career, he's always had you're damn if you do, you're damn if you don't. Mm-hmm. And LeBron's career has been based on that. Mostly because you came behind Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
And you came into the Kobe Bryant era.
Yeah.
So everything that you do is based on those two guys.
Yeah.
So when, like you say, he made the right play, cool. Michael Jordan made the same play. Nobody said anything. Everybody said, what a great job.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Michael Jordan made the same play multiple times. B.J. Armstrong, Steve Kerr, John Paxson. He's made that play multiple times, right? Great job. Kobe doesn't make that play. Kobe takes the shot. So now you got the people that see the Jordan side of it going, oh, he made the right play. But the Kobe people are like, man, you got to take the shot.
Yeah.
You got to be that killer that Kobe was. And I'm from the Jordan era where I'm like, you make the pass. Like, you are an NBA player, right? And we've all known some NBA guys. The one thing I know about NBA players is shooters knock down open shots. The goal of a superstar is, can you get these other guys open shots? Yeah. And if you're a shooter in the NBA and you're open, that's your job.
Yeah.
Like everybody got a job. Your job in the league is to knock down shots.
Yeah.
If you're open, I need to be able to trust you that you're going to do your job. I did my job. I got the double team. I got the triple team. I got you an open look. Jordan trusted that John Paxson would hit it. He trusted that Steve Kerr would hit it. He trusted that B.J. Armstrong would hit it. Craig Hodges. He trusted all these guys would do their job. So LeBron is trusting that people. He's giving the ball to the right people. He's not giving the ball to Carlos Boozer saying knock a three-pointer down.
Yeah.
He's giving it to Boobie Gibson, who was a shooter. He's giving Jamie Jones, who was a shooter. So, but he's had the situation where no matter what he does, he's going to be scrutinized just based on the people that he's following.
Yeah.
And when it's all said and done, LeBron he's obviously, people argue with it, he's definitely top 3. When you look at what he's done only on the court and where he's took teams he's had, he's top 3. He's top the Cleveland team to knock off Detroit. For that Cleveland team to knock off that Detroit team, shoot. I mean, that's as tough as that Laker team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Knocking off that Detroit, I mean, that team was loaded. And to do it how he did it, I mean, it was him.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't, LeBron knocked off Detroit. If you go back and ask Rasheed, any of those guys about that team, they're going to be like, dude, he kicked our ass. That fourth quarter, dude kicked our ass, man. And nobody had an answer for him. So
nobody.
he's gonna be your top 3 easily. And all depending on where area you're from, is he 2, 3, and some people 1, right? So for me, he's 3 behind MJ and Kobe, and he's 3. Do I ever think he can surpass him? No, but he's separated himself from the 4th person.
Definitely.
So he's in that top 3. That's a separation. And I go out, people, oh, we got Magic. Yeah, that's all good. These 3 dudes are 3 dudes that I can give the rock to and be like, these guys are going to be a huge game changer for me.
Yeah.
So without having to have anybody else. So that's why I go LeBron. So
who's more iconic? Michael Jordan or LeBron James? Or even Kobe Bryant? I mean, now that Kobe has passed, he's become very iconic.
When you look at what's happening in today's society, LeBron's more iconic. Just because of what he's doing, right? If you go back 4 years, okay, if you go back 4 years before everything that started happening in society began happening, you probably sit back and once again, I'm looking into my world, right, of girls basketball, and I go, Kobe Bryant's more iconic because of what he started to do with the game of girls basketball, right? But then you go, but man, you're a sneakerhead, I'm a sneakerhead. I'm like, nah, Jordan got it on lock.
Yeah.
Just based on the fact that this fool's shoes is coming out this weekend and they're going to sell out again.
Yeah.
And when's the last time Jordan shot a legit game? And his shoes are still selling out. So I'm going to say with everything that's going on, and because Jordan did stay out of the spotlight of social issues, it's going to be LeBron James. Just based on the totality of everything that he's done. There has been no alleged stuff that's come out about him in his marital life. He's been a great father to his kids. The school he started up, being a headliner for social justice, and just everything that he's done in his career. The dude has damn near been perfect.
Well, it goes back to what my guest on the first
OG Bobby.
OG Bobby Johnson, and we got into the topic of
true legend Bobby Johnson, by the way.
True legend. And we got on the topic of, in the last 20 years, what number 1 pick has lived up to exactly what they were picked number 1 for.
I heard y'all talk about this on the podcast, and I was like, man, I'm gonna go pull a list and get all the number 1 picks out. I wanted to look at them. I didn't, but LeBron sticks out. Obviously, there's been a bunch of flops, right? I mean, when you go back through the draft, there's been a bunch. I mean, I think the biggest one everybody's gonna say is Ola Candy. Was probably one of the biggest number 1.
No, I would say 2013.
Who was 13?
Bennett. UNLV.
Yeah, you're right. The dude ain't even last in the league.
Yeah, he did. I mean.
But I just think it's LeBron. You look at the number 1 pick. I think you go back, period, NBA history. There's never been a number 1 pick to have that much pressure.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. LeBron, he came out with tons of hype and tons of pressure, and he lived up to it all. Maybe the only other person that I could think of, and I wasn't around at the time, was maybe Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Lou Alcindor.
And I would say I don't know, because obviously I don't know, I was born, but I can say probably. But when you look at everything LeBron comes from, right? The single mom situation, home, apartment to apartment, coach to coach, and then a little bit of applied pressure, the chosen one on the back tattoo, getting a Hummer in high school, getting a $100 million deal before you even touch a ball in the NBA. Just the overall pressure. And then when Kareem happened, imagine if LeBron was LeBron in high school right now. Think about how much has changed since he's been in the league. Yeah, social media was something then, but it's nothing like it is now, right? So imagine if LeBron. Look at Zion. Mm-hmm. Look at Zion. Zion can't hold LeBron's jockstrap in high school.
No, not at all.
And look what happened to him. Imagine if LeBron was LeBron in high school today, what it would be like for him. I mean, it's so for him to be that hyped up at that time. I mean, ESPN national televised games. I mean, it was.
What I will not do though is I will not discredit Lou Alcindor because I wasn't there. Plus, he also had to deal with other racial things that were going on in the country. That but I would have to say if I'm thinking about those, I would say those two. Magic. I don't know if Magic had a lot of pressure. He obviously performed great his rookie year, although he didn't win Rookie of the Year. They gave it to Bird that year. But, just going through the list of number ones who lived up to the hype, and I think, wasn't AI number one?
Yes.
AI lived up to his hype, although he couldn't win a championship.
Lou, obviously, Kareem, he did what he did, right? There's nobody's going to take away. He changed the game, and so he did exactly what he was supposed to do. It's just the platform. I guess it's different. I mean, what if Michael Jordan was playing during the social media era? What would it be like? It's all about the platform that the guy is on, and LeBron is one. It's current to us.
Yes.
Right. So it's current to us. So I might ask my dad, and he might be like, "Oh, you're crazy. Kareem's top no matter what." But we don't know that. We just know what we see him do with the Lakers. Magic walked into a situation where, man, your team was loaded. That Laker team that Magic walked into, that team was loaded. He didn't walk into no scrubs.
No, he definitely didn't walk into no scrubs.
So it was the success was almost all you had to do was go be yourself. You didn't have to be nothing that was super extra. Go play ball.
I thought the best basketball that Magic ever played was in the 1991 finals against the Bulls. He had a rookie, Vlade Divac.
Yes.
He didn't have anybody. James was hurt. Or no, I think James by this time was just an older James.
It was you had the new Lakers. They were rebuilding.
And he got into the finals.
Yeah.
I think that was I think to me, like, especially after all the years and battles he's had with all these other teams, I thought that was because Magic still, for me personally, I grew up as a kid, it was all about Magic. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wanted to do the no look.
And that was everywhere. It wasn't in California. That was everywhere. I was everywhere. You knew the Lakers. You knew Pat Riley. You knew the run into Showtime, and everybody wanted to do, the no look pass to Showtime. That was everywhere. But like I said, I think that year I can agree with you. That being Magic, that's the first time I think that he was the sole star.
Yeah, definitely.
And everything was on his back. And he performed. And
what we did not know, and he probably didn't know at that time, now that if you really think about
playing against the greatest player.
No. He possibly could have had AIDS, HIV at that time and didn't even know it. You know what I'm saying?
Playing through it, playing with it.
Yeah, playing with it.
That's right.
No one ever thinks about that. Like, he could have, and I don't know how that affects you, but Anyway, so let me ask you another question that I was thinking about earlier, and why is Kyrie Irving? Why does he think he's better than what he really has proven to be? I don't think that Kyrie. This is my stance. Okay. I don't think that Kyrie Irving.
And you know how I feel about Kyrie.
I know how you feel. I don't think that Kyrie Irving is as great as he thinks he is. I think he skilled, highly skilled. Does he have abilities? Yes. But if I'm a GM, ain't no way in hell I'm picking him to run my team. He's too.
Especially now, he's never healthy. So that's. But I'm a huge Kyrie fan. Okay, and I think you know that, and I think that might be why you got this question. So I'm a huge Kyrie fan. I think I listened to a coach say it once about these kids that's growing up today. I could use Kyrie. Kyrie's been the best player on the team since he's been probably 8, 9. Goes to high school, one of the best players in the country. Middle school, best player in the country. Goes to Duke, plays 5 games? Labeled as one of the best players in the country. How can you now tell a guy that he's not that? How can a guy believe that he's still not the best player in the league? I think it's mental that this has been brainwashed into you for so long. And granted, he was that, right? But now you're in a situation where a lot of guys are that good. You know, you playing on the team with a guy that's going to be better than you. You played on teams twice with guys that are better than you. And I think he understands that he's still one of the great players in the league. I think it can be a little bit selfishness and he doesn't, being a great player, and I think he's immature also, to release that and say this guy's better than me. To be able to do what Dwayne Wade did when he got LeBron and say, you know what, this dude can carry us if I'm not saying I'm about to give up the rock, you know. I'm just saying if I just let him lead it. And I don't think Kyrie's has matured enough yet, because the big issue is LeBron was in Cleveland. He was successful. And I think this is where really a lot of the LeBron hating came from Kyrie. LeBron leaves. They get Kyrie Irving. They're not successful. LeBron comes back. They're now successful. Now Kyrie's like, okay, I'm going to go team hunt. I'm going to go find my own team. Goes to Boston. Once again, you're not successful. Boston's like, nah, we're good. Now you're in Brooklyn. And we're going to find out. I think that Cleveland deal with Kyrie was a bigger role than what he'll ever admit, of having LeBron be successful, having him go there, being like, you about to be the next savior for us, and then you're not successful. And then they bring the old dude back to make you successful again. I think that hurt. And then to show that even without you, the old dude was still successful. When you got hurt, I mean, what's his name? Dellavedova?
Yeah, Dellavedova.
Come on, man. LeBron's rocking with Dellavedova when you got hurt. And so to me, that's another slap in his face. Like, you're not that good if LeBron can now battle, not win, but at least battle with Dellavedova. You're better than him, yes. But LeBron is here fighting with a guy that nobody knew.
Yeah.
Prior to the finals. And I think that's a big deal with him. I think that bothers him. If he was to be honest about it, I think that bothers him a lot. That for me to be successful, you have to bring back the old dude. And I think that gets to him. I think that's where a lot of the hate comes from. Because he hates on LeBron.
Yeah, because he just threw a jab at him the other day.
Yeah, another jab at him. Yeah, Kyrie, you hit the shot in the finals. Kudos. Tough shot. Great shot, right? You played great in the finals, but you only was there because LeBron was with you.
Yeah, because if you look at the play that happened right before he hit that shot, what was that play?
Wow.
Do you remember?
I don't remember that one.
LeBron chased down and blocked.
The chase down block.
The chase down block. If he doesn't block that three don't matter.
And if you mention that, he might flip.
Three don't matter.
But I think that's a big deal when you talk about his success, is that he hasn't had it. And guess what's about to happen? It's going to be the same thing. If you think KD about to play second fiddle to you, it's not. I mean, his game is so much. I think you got to think. You played second fiddle to LeBron. Offensive wise, KD's game is way more polished and skilled.
Yeah.
So, which can play both ways, because KD's a more of a laid back guy. But I think not having success by himself and needing it will be a little help. And I think the issue with him and KD is they both are looking for their own success. KD walking into the Warriors a loaded team. Of course you're going to win championships. Nobody expected you to lose at all. So I think now these two guys are searching for the same thing. Their own clout, their own character. Say, hey, we two dudes bought it. So when they ask KD about James Harden today, I don't think about James Harden. I don't think KD wants him there.
Yeah. Well, because he knows that, like, I beat him already.
Yeah. I think him and Kyrie want to win this and say, we did this.
Yeah. And they're friends, right? Like
they're friends. They are friends.
Which it's kind of weird because they're both kind of temperamental.
They're both temperamental, and neither one's a leader.
That's going to be interesting. I personally, I don't think they got a chance in hell to win nothing. I mean, they'll get to the playoffs, unless something drastically changes, unless LeBron, Father Time catches up to LeBron, because so far what I've seen, this dude is a machine.
Dude, he spends too much money on his body.
I
just don't see it happening.
You're a human, and shit can fail.
I agree, but you know what I'm saying, if you're not putting oil in the car, it's going to break down. But if you're getting all the maintenance you need, the chances of it running a little longer is pretty good. And I don't see, back to Brooklyn, if these two guys trust Brooklyn is loaded with talent. I mean, just look what they did in the bubble. They're loaded with talent. If these guys can trust the others, which means you got to allow these guys to make plays. And if you can trust...
Who's their coach?
Steve Nash.
Okay, so no coaching experience. Do you think he can lead them to a championship?
I think with the pieces he's trying to add around him as a head coach was going to help him be successful. I think he's trying to build a coaching staff around him. And a lot of times it's not about the head coach, right? You just have the title. You get the pounding for the losing, you get the praising for the winning. But a lot of times it's what people are doing behind the scenes that's making that real team click. I mean, we can talk the Bulls forever.
Yeah.
Who's the true winner with the Chicago Bulls? I think when everybody breaks it down, everybody knows why the Bulls are winning.
Yeah.
Tex Winters brought in that system.
Yeah.
It wasn't Phil Jackson. Oh, yeah. Tex Winters was riding that system in Chicago, LA.
Yeah.
Tex Winters is Phil Jackson's back pocket.
Yeah.
So I think Steve Nash is going to try to build a team around him. I mean, you got the offensive guru on staff. So your offense is going to be great. Now can we defend? And I think with the pieces you have, I think they can be successful. And you're playing in the East. It's not going to be a loaded division. And you have KD and Kyrie. At the end of the day, those two dudes, they're going to get you arguably at least close to 60 a night. Just them two.
Okay, before we wrap this up, I got one last question I want to ask you, and it pertains to basketball and also just everything that's going on. How are your players handling this whole COVID basketball experience?
It's difficult for them. Just like anything in the world, we were able to practice, play, and scrimmage, and just go out and just play. Now it's trying to find a place to play a tournament, and then it's trying to meet all the protocols for the tournament. The players, we've done a great job with our club of keeping the girls in the gym, keeping them active just because, and we understand the risk, right? But I just think they need it. Why? Because the NCAA didn't stop. These girls can't just be sitting at home doing nothing and think, oh, we're going to sit at home for 6 months and I could just jump back on the ball and keep it going. It's a struggle for everybody, and it's difficult for coaches, players, because now, and I think coaches benefited from it, talk about that, but it's tough just because you don't have that freedom that you once had. You know, gyms are closed. You can't work out. Kids are forced to go back outside and train now. And it's been now you playing tournaments where they're like, now you got to wear a mask while you play. That's what's coming out now, right? So it's just all out different, man. It's tough.
How have you handled it?
I mean, it's an experience for me for sure. Trying to, man, it's tough when you get a call, coach, I was around somebody who had COVID. It's like, man, so now you just like anything, just like the NFL, I have to take a player and be like, you got to dismiss yourself for 2 weeks and 2 negative tests. Or, you can't be around the club, or you can't be around here, you can't be that. So it's tough trying to make sure you're taking care of everybody. And I think that's what a lot of people don't see with the big picture is you're having to watch out for an entire program and try to make sure that everybody's safe, at the same time understanding the risk. It's hard on recruiting. It's difficult to, especially being in Bakersfield, being in a small market, to get people to see the kids. And we're emailing and calling and all this stuff with film, and that's working, but it's difficult, and everything's Arizona. We've been fortunate to have some tournaments here in Bakersfield, but everything, Arizona, you got to go to Vegas, you got to go to Utah, you got to go to Iowa, you got to go to Texas. There's no more, can't go play in Southern California, can't go play in the Bay Area. So as a program director, it's been tough just trying to keep the kids in a position where they can be successful. But they managed to do it. They've been doing a really good job since we've got going. My parents are great. The kids are great, and they've, even in this time, all of them have gotten better.
Okay.
They've all improved their game, and as a coach, it's listening. I mean, we had a talk. They were, coach, we bored at practice, right? So boom, my assistant, you got it, right? Different voice, different mind, different ear, but at the same time, you got to listen to your players. And I can't just be you got to do this. So we get bored sometimes. Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's completely switch up practice. And then it made me as a coach understand that, man, you're doing practice now for an extended period of time with no game. So now as a coach, I have to make an adjustment. How can I continue to get the best out of you with that stuff? So it's difficult, but we're making it.
So real quickly, just give us a little rundown about Team Militant and how that came about and what it means. And
it's a big brand. Like I said, we're a BUA elite. We're really pushing that. Have been contacted by a couple other programs about possibly coming into the bigger system. Team Militant called. They're based out of Sacramento, so they called down, and they were really happy with what we were doing as a program. The kids that we had, the direction we was going, and when we talked about what was my desire of the program, and I would say I had no desire for me. It was 100% about my girls, about getting all of them to be successful and make them the best people that they can be, and hopefully that they also make them the best players that they can be. And for them, they was like, that's all we wanted to hear was that. So my question to them was, where are we going to go with this? What's our angle? What do we want to do? And so we started pushing that. Then the Under Armour conversation came up, and we started understanding that you needed multiple teams to do it. So when we opened up with the Militant team from Northern California, Militant team from the Northern Valley, we became Central Militant. Got a Militant team out of Vegas. So we started the program was getting bigger, and that's the route we wanted to go with, giving girls opportunities to not only grow, but have a bigger family. So we have kids come down from Sacramento. They want to come down here and play, jump on the squad, you can run. We got a national team based out of Sacramento where I got a girl that's really good here. Cool, hey, I'm going to take you, and we're going to take the best girls out of our program and put them on one powerhouse team, which is what all the other clubs do. And we had that one powerhouse team, but now there's a section here you get to pick from. So now I got 2 or 3 girls. Now you go to Northern California, you're on this powerhouse team now. Now you're playing in front of the Oklahoma States and the Louisvilles and the Dukes and the Florida States, and you're getting an opportunity that maybe BUA couldn't give you with just myself being a local and shopping as much as I could, but not having that recognition. But now college coaches recognize the Militant brand. So that's what it comes from. It was a big deal.
So how can they reach you? How do they find you?
Man, you got our social media platform. Those are one. Team Militant Central on Instagram and Twitter. Email team.militant.central@gmail.com. Those are the easiest ways to reach me through there. We constant posting about the girls and coaches are on field level also. If you want to reach out to that, so we constantly doing that, and that's how you get a hold of us. So we're always looking, we're always shopping. Any players that are looking for homes, we're always looking to have players come in. We're continuously bringing it in, and we're just trying to continuously keep the best players and the kids who want to commit to playing, want to keep them in the program.
Okay. Well, look, man, I appreciate you coming through and chopping it up with me, talking about hoop and basketball. We got to do this again because we can talk hoop all day long.
Of course.
7 days a week.
Of course.
Argue.
All other things. Hoop.
Disagree.
You don't know football. We can talk that too.
I talk football too. I don't know a whole lot about it. I watch. I know Dallas ain't that good. I know that part.
That's easy. That's 25 years for these Cowboy fans. I know they about to out me right now, but boy, it's been a long time since that started being in the Super Bowl.
Oh man, them Cowboy fans, man. I feel bad for them.
I was like, so yeah, it's. I'm happy. I love it.
You love it.
Love it.
All right. So, hey, man, thanks for coming through, and I appreciate you. And, like I always tell everybody, I was watching my vlog last night. Keep your haters close.
I'm right here. I'll be back. I appreciate you, brother.
All right. Peace.